We're going to move on now and talk about student arrival and dismissal. Students, will, again, this year will be allowed to enter the building at 8:10 in the morning. Those students will be going straight to breakfast. All of the other students will be coming in at 8:15. And you know, it's really, really important that you are prepared and you're at your classroom door at 8:15, ready, monitoring the students going down the hall, encouraging them to stay on the right side of the hallway in single file line. And then, you know, as your students come to your classroom door, it's important that you're there smiling, giving them some type of greeting, because a lot of times you're the first point of contact for your students, and you have the ability to start their day on a positive note. And if you're looking for a good reference, somebody on your grade level, I will bet, has the book by Dr. Becky Bailey, Conscious Discipline. It's a great resource. Check it out. Let's move on to afternoon dismissal. Every day that will start at 2:55. You'll hear an announcement coming from the office, one of the secretaries. You need to be prepared, ready for that. Classroom teachers and other staff members who have assigned duties, you need to already be at your post, ready. This includes the classroom teachers. At 2:55, they're going to call from the office to dismiss walkers, parent pickup, Kids Quest, daycare vans, special needs buses, etc. You need to be at your doorway supervising, because we don't want a mass of about 60-some students coming down the hallway. You need to be encouraging and standing at your door, reminding them single file line, walking on the right side of the hallway. Just a reminder, special needs buses will always arrive and dismiss in the back of the building. And if you are one of the case managers for one of these students, you or your teacher assistant needs to be at that bus in the morning and in the afternoon, making sure the students get there safely to and from. Daycare vans will be dismissed like they were last year in front of the building. The adults that are assigned to the library will be listening walkie-talkie. The security assistant will again call for those when they arrive. Day one arrival procedures. Teachers are going to have a special transportation form called Classroom Arrival Dismissal Form. All of your students will be coming in with some type of a sticker, whether it's a bus sticker indicating the bus they came in on, or if they were a walker, parent drop-off, so forth. They'll have a sticker. You need to be at your door with this form, checking each kid as they come in. Record their name in the proper spot, and then ask them, do you know how you're going home today? If they're uncertain, put a little note there. Make sure, because we will be coming around early that morning to talk about dismissal, arrival, and clear up any uncertainties for folks. In fact, I believe kindergarten and I think maybe first grade teachers make phone calls to their families asking about transportation for day one. Those teachers that do that, please encourage riding the school bus. That always helps for a smoother arrival and dismissal on day one if the students just go ahead and get used to that procedure. Afternoon bus duty assistants. We will continue with this process again this year. Grade levels will be assigned per week. And when we come out, I'm asking that grade level members, I know you like to chat and catch up with each other, please split up when you're outside. You have to supervise the students and help us out while they're waiting in line for their buses to arrive. You know, it's always better for us to try to be proactive, moving, talking, supervising the students instead of being in a group of 4 or 5 off to one side. It's best to kind of have someone at the front and near the back of some of those lines. Just be proactive and split up. You can catch up with each other later. If we have rainy day dismissal, you know, it's imperative again, it'll be just like last year, listen to the intercom. We'll come across and instruct what we're supposed to do with that. You will receive again this year any special bus notes from the office indicating if there's a change in how students to go home that day. If a child does not have a note from a parent or the office, the child has to go home their normal way. We can't get out to the buses at 3:10 and the kid's saying, but I'm supposed to go home with my friend. That's not going to happen. If we don't have the note, something from the office, it's not going to happen. They have to get on the bus the normal way that they go home. Let's say a child misses the school bus and they come out. It is the teacher's responsibility to try to get with the child, take them up to the office, make sure you make that phone call, and we notify the parent and everything is set before we just leave the child in the office with the secretaries. A lot of times it's really busy in there. A lot of phone calls are happening. Things are going on. It would help us out a lot if the teacher could walk up with his or her child and take care of that, make sure they're set, and notify the secretaries, and then you may take off. You know, student safety in our buildings is a must, and we've got to be diligent about student safety. And when we talk about student safety, I'm envisioning walking on the right side of the hallway. And I know we do a really good job with this, as well as the stairway, staying on the right side. Let's just remember, you know, we are the role models for our students. If we're expecting them to walk in single file and to be quiet in the hallways and on the stairways, we need to model that same behavior. I know sometimes it's tempting for us to yell down the hallway to a colleague or a team member to get their attention, but the students are watching our every move. They're watching us, so let's be the best role models that we can be for them. We're going to move on now to talk a little bit about cafeteria. You know, refer to your master schedule for your assigned lunchtime and your student table and your lunch lines. There is a form, again, in the forms section that you can look at. It's imperative that you're on time for lunch and dismissal. You know, in arrival, let's talk about that. We're asking that you walk your students all the way into the cafeteria up to the lunch line. A lot of times we get into a hurry or so forth, something's going on, and we get them to the cafeteria door and we let them go. That's when the students get a little anxious and they run into the cafeteria. So please take just one extra minute and make sure they get up to the cafeteria line. Everything's good, and then take off for your lunch. Remember, you do have a duty-free lunch, but that doesn't mean that you're duty-free from your students. And we always need to try to be proactive. The cafeteria monitors, again, are in charge of the students while you're away eating your lunch, taking care of whatever you need to do. But we are going to reiterate this year. You are responsible for the dismissal of your students from the cafeteria table. That means you really need to be on time because we have a tight lunch schedule. You need to be in there on time and supervise the dismissal of your students from each side of the table, dumping their trash and stacking their trays and then lining them up to exit from the cafeteria. A lot of teachers did a great job with this last year. We just want to be diligent with it and continue with that this year. We're going to continue with our colored cup system, the red, the green, and the yellow cups. We'll have rewards set up for the classes that earn the all green cups for the month. They'll be rewarded with a treat. In fact, I believe there's a specific date that is set in your handbook that you can go and look at for those rewards if you're interested in that. You know, the students know when you're aware of the behavior management system in the cafeteria. If you're keeping up with the color cups they're earning and you're showing support for that, you know, there's that buy-in, that integration piece. While we're talking about cafeteria, let's discuss the quiet table that sits off to the side. That needs to be approved by an administrator if you have a special situation with that. Cafeteria monitors may utilize the quiet table if they need to, if they have tried other interventions unsuccessfully. If it gets to that point, an administrator will be notified, and we'll deal with that if we need to go beyond the quiet table. But again, that quiet table needs to be approved by an administrator. We're going to move on now to inventories. Inventory forms. Again, that teacher portal on the left-hand side under forms. You're going to find textbook inventories, personal property, furniture inventories, but guess what? This year those things are going to be printed out for you and given to your grade level chair. The grade level chair will submit those to you, you complete them, and then you return them to your grade level chair because he or she will compile them all and then return them to administration. That goes for inventories, textbooks, all of those things. Again, these inventories are located electronically on the teacher portal on the left-hand side under Forms.